Hello everyone, this is Thehunter DD33, and in this video, I'm going to answer which game I think is better, the Hunter Classic versus the Hunter Call of the Wild, from a real perspective of a real hunter. Alright guys, here comes our bull. He's right here, about 50 meters away. It's not a very good angle, but we're definitely going to take the shot. Hello everyone, this is Thehunter DD33, and lately I've been asked quite a few times, which one do I think is better? Call of the Wild or the Hunter Classic? Now, I grew up hunting since I was basically old enough to start hunting, and we grew up hunting for food. So, alright, so the number one reason why I think the Hunter Classic would probably be better is that you can actually stand hunt. And from a real hunter's point of view, you stand hunt quite a bit. So we got a buck here, let's take a shot on him. And we made a pretty solid shot. Now, in Call of the Wild, that would probably be a spine shot and we would get 100% points. But in the Hunter Classic, this is the most realistic point of view right here, is that's a spine shot. It's not a perfect shot. It's a pretty good shot because you are going to drop him. But the bad part is, he's not going to be down instantly. You're going to have to put another one in him to actually finish him off. Alright, so it looks like our buck is down now, so I'm pretty sure that must have been liver or one lung on that, but he went down. Alright, so another reason why I like the Hunter Classic better than Call of the Wild is because there's actually birds in the game. They don't have any birds in Call of the Wild, and birds are such an important species in a hunter's life. So we do have a gobbler coming in right now. We actually have 3 of them coming in. There's 2 over there, but there's 1 right here, and I think we might be able to take a shot. I don't think we should really risk it though. That one might be a big gobbler. I want to check to see. No, he's not that big. We might get away with taking a shot on this gobbler here. So let's see if we can't get on him. Alright, so we dropped him. And nothing else spooked. Perfect shot. That was pretty lucky, actually. So in the Hunter Classic, if you make a perfect shot where you get double lung, most of the time they drop. In Call of the Wild, a lot of times when you get double lung, you aren't going to get as much points as if you get spine or a neck shot. Which is not very realistic at all either, because in hunting you don't always go for a spine. In fact, you never aim for the spine or the neck. Alright, so we have another gobbler coming in. We actually have 2 gobblers here. There's one over there. I just want to see. Oh, that's a giant. That's a 50 to 70 score on him. And it looks like he has probably a 12-inch beard on him. Look at the size of that beard. Wow. So the big ones are pretty smart in Classic. In Call of the Wild, the animals are pretty smart as well once they get big. But it seems like the big ones actually trot a little bit too much than they normally would. They wouldn't just trot across the whole entire map just because you're crouched the whole time. And in real life, that's not going to happen. They're going to run a little ways. Once they get to a safe spot, they stop, they look around, and they make sure nothing's coming. But they still can't see you from like 500 yards away. Unless you're running, then they'll definitely see you. But if you have full camouflage on and you're sneaking through the woods, they're not going to see you at 500 yards away. They're just not going to. And in Call of the Wild, they do. Alright, so we have our big gobbler coming in right now. He doesn't seem to want to come too close to the decoys. But that's alright. We could definitely take a shot right here, so let's go for it. And we dropped him. The other gobbler didn't even spook. And this is pretty realistic as well. If you're using a bow and the turkey doesn't know where the shot came from, it might not actually spook. And wow, we put a pretty good hit on that one as well. So we have 3 gobblers down and a buck. All from a tree stand. Now, can you do this in Call of the Wild? No, you can't. You can sit there and call all day long, and you might possibly get 1 cow moose to come in. But other than that, you're not going to have any luck. And from a real hunter's point of view, hunting from a tree stand is really important. And that's why I like the Hunter Classic as soon as I started playing it, because the fact that you actually can hunt from a stand, and you can set up your own stands. For instance, over here, we have all these stands set up where we can actually go from stand to stand, just like you would in real life where you could hunt. And if you don't see anything in this spot, you can hunt this one night, then the next night go over to this spot. Or the same day during the rut. If you hunt this for an hour or 2, don't see anything, and you feel like maybe there's another spot better, then you go over to the next spot. Alright, well, it looks like a hen turkey just snuck in on us. And we're not going to take a shot on her because we already have a couple of gobblers down. We're not going to be too greedy here. And plus, in real life, you wouldn't shoot a hen anyways. Well, at least we can't here. Alright, so let's get down and let's go take a look at all the animals that we already got. Let's take a look at this buck here first. We ended up getting spine 2 on him, and he scored 108. Now, I would have imagined that the camel pulsar would have enough penetration to go through and hit the liver, which is what I thought we would have hit, but apparently it didn't for some reason. Normally, this camel pulsar has a lot of penetration and it'll go right through, and you'll hit pretty much every vital in it. But sometimes that doesn't happen. So let's go over here and go pick up these two gobbers that we got. This is the first one. And we actually made a heart shot. So that's pretty realistic. In Call of the Wild, if you make a heart shot, they do drop as well. This one scores 30, so he was a young gobbler. And let's pick this one up here. We made another heart shot on this one. Double lung and heart, so that one pretty much got smoked. Alright, so let's pick this big one up now. I think it's going to be a pretty nice one. 63.5, and that is definitely a pretty nice gobbler. Anything 60 plus is a pretty nice gobbler. We got a right lung shot on him at 19.6 meters out. The only thing is, the Hunter Classic, you don't have yardage. You only have meters, which it would be nice if they would eventually be able to adjust that to, you could make it into yardage, but for now, we'll just be okay with the meters because everything else about it makes up for that one thing. And that's a pretty nice gobbler, so let's take a trophy shot of him. I would recommend getting anything mounted that scores probably 63 plus is definitely going to be a good one. But since we already have a 68 plus gobbler mounted, we're probably not going to get this guy mounted. But it is pretty cool, and we can take a look at how big his beard actually is. You can see it's a pretty nice sized beard. We made a nice shot on him. You can't really see him that good because the sunlight isn't quite hitting him right, but we'll still take a cool picture of him. Alright, another cool thing about Classic is the ability to switch between so many different bows and crossbows, recurves. There's pretty much any type that you want. For instance, we have this young bull right here, and we're actually tracking... a pretty decent one, 300 plus. He's over there somewhere. Oh, there he is. He's coming in. You can see him out there. That might be him. I'm not sure if that's him or a different one. But we're going to take this one out with the crossbow first. Alright, we dropped him. And I'm pretty sure the big one's coming in over here. No, that's definitely not the big one. But the big one's got to be somewhere nearby. He's got to be nearby. Because I got a call from him. And that's not the track that we're on right now. So he should be coming out somewhere maybe a little bit further back than that. Alright, I still don't see the big bull yet, but this bull here is about 30 meters out, so we're going to get on him and take him out with the crossbow. Hopefully the big bull's not coming in yet. And dropped him. Oh, here he comes, here he comes. Alright, our big bull is coming up the hill right there, about 50 meters away. He has a pretty good rack on him, but he doesn't have very many points on him. He's going to be close to 300 plus, for sure. Definitely a solid bull. Alright, here he comes. He's about 20 yards out. And this is a cool part about the Hunter Classic as well. They have lighted arrows, so when we'll pull up with our carbon recurve here, it's not a very good angle, but we're definitely going to take the shot. And we dropped him right in his tracks. Now, that's not the most realistic thing, but it was a pretty nice shot, and we got a nice bull elk. Yeah, he does have some pretty nice main beams on him. I bet he's going to be 300 plus. Let's pick him up. We got a double lung shot on him at 17.3 meters out. And he scores 318. So that's a pretty good bull, considering he hardly has any back tines on him. He's really wide, really thick, and he has some nice long main beams on him. So let's take a really cool picture of him. Very happy with that bull. And let's go pick up the rest of the bulls that we have here now. The reverse draw crossbow has an incredible amount of penetration. As you can see, we went through the skull, neck, lung, liver, intestine, and it came all the way out. So let's pick this bull up. This one went shoulder blade, lung, liver, all the way through the intestine. He scored 209. Alright, so we just got a call from a buck, and here he comes right here. He looks like a decent sized buck. 140 to 165 on him. And he's about 26 meters out. Pretty much quartering at us a little bit, so we'll get ready and we'll wait for him to step out. We'll pop up with the carbon recurve here in just a second. Alright, so let's pop up. And he's quartering at us a little bit, but we can still take that shot. That's the one thing about taking shots like this. It's not the greatest idea. And there you go. Okay, perfect. Yep, that looks like lungs. So let's go over here and go check the blood. And that is lung blood. But in Call of the Wild, if you get a single lung shot, they'll just run a little ways and tip over right there. But in the Hunter Classic, if you track them down after you get a single lung shot, you can jump them up and they'll keep running quite a ways. So in real life, if you get a single lung shot and you track a deer right away, it's not going to just drop right away. There's a really good chance you're going to kick him up and he's going to run another 200 yards even with that single lung shot. So you really want to wait about 5 or 10 minutes at least before you start tracking them in-game. In real life, I would consider that at least a half hour to 45 minutes if you know you got a single lung shot for sure. Alright, here's our buck down here, and this one probably ran at least 250, maybe even 300 meters out. As you look at the hunter mate here, you can see you can't even see where the initial start of the tracking job was, because it ran quite a ways. But we did find him, and that's pretty realistic. Alright, so let's pick him up. And you can see we hit shoulder blade, right lung, and intestine. He scores 146. So we'll take a trophy shot at him. It's a pretty decent buck. We shot a little bit high, but that's perfect because I kind of wanted him to run off anyways. I didn't really want him to drop because there's no point of using the tracers if they just drop. It's not as cool or realistic. In real life, the deer don't just drop if you hit them good. Alright, so this brings me to the next thing about Classic that I like a lot more than Call of the Wild, because you can actually take trophy shots. In real life, you can move the animal around and you can take a picture of it, and you can be proud of it and appreciate it. Not only can you get a trophy shot of them, but you can also taxidermize them and put them up in your trophy lodge. Alright, well that about sums it up for the Hunter Classic, except let's go over to the trophy lodges and go take a look at some of our really special moments. Alright, so here we are in our trophy lodge, and here we're able to keep all of our memories in this lodge, and that's one of the most important parts about hunting. Now I know it took about 5 or 6 years for the Hunter Classic to incorporate this into the game, but eventually they did it, and it was a huge success. I'm really happy with it, and it definitely makes me want to keep playing this game over Call of the Wild. Alright, so the first thing I noticed when I got Call of the Wild was it took an incredible expensive PC to be able to run it. I had to get a PC that was more expensive than my car at the time just to be able to run a hunting game, which is a little bit ridiculous because most hunters aren't going to spend that much money on a PC. Oh, there he goes. And another thing is, when you're crouch walking, you either crouch walk really slow or super slow. And when you're walking super slow, you feel like the time has just stopped and you're not really going anywhere. It takes forever to get to where you want to go. And when you crouch a little bit faster, you actually spook everything. So there's not like a happy medium speed that you can actually just go at and continue on. It seems like if you go too fast, then everything's going to spook. So you almost have to go super slow the whole entire time. But the cool part is, if you're a gun hunter, I'm sure you will definitely enjoy this a lot more because you can shoot pretty far. The render distance in Call of the Wild is up to 450 yards, so you can see quite a ways and you can take pretty far shots. Alright, so let's see if we can't get a shot on one of these does here. We have this one here broadside at 160 yards, and in the Hunter Classic, you'd want to aim right for the center of the lung. You won't want to try and make a spine or a neck shot. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to see if we can't make a double lung shot on her at 160. Perfect double lung shot for sure. And it looks like she ran a little ways and stopped. So that's an interesting glitch right there. Alright, so let's pick up this doe. We did make a double lung shot at 160 yards, and our quick kill bonus was 64%. Now, you shouldn't get penalized for having a double lung shot with a rifle 100%, no matter what. Even if it ran a little ways, you still made a perfect shot considering the real way to do it. Alright, now here's the cool thing about Call of the Wild. You can actually see almost 450 yards out and spot something all the way across the lake over here. Alright, here we go. Should have been a perfect shot, and she dropped. So that was pretty awesome. The fact that you can see something far out, take a shot, and just drop it, that's pretty cool. So I would say Call of the Wild is more of a run and gun kind of type game where you just run around and look for stuff, or you wait till you hear a warning call, and then once you get a warning call, then you can just basically spot it, take the shot really quick. On the Hunter Classic, it's more about being a real hunter, and you really need to stalk a lot of the times, versus Call of the Wild where you're not really hunting most of the time. You're just pretty much running around or watching. The good thing about Call of the Wild is it's really open, so you can see a long ways. The Hunter Classic is not as open, which in real life it's not that open. There's a lot of spots where it's really thick and you only have a couple of shooting lanes. Now, then you got to talk about the price. And Call of the Wild is a one-time payment where you only have to pay one time, and once you get it, you're pretty much set. But there's only so much you can do right now. The Hunter Classic is actually free at first, but as soon as you want to get more weapons and more stuff to set up, then you have to end up spending some more money to get that stuff. But the good thing is, once you get it, you get to keep it. So the way I look at it, the more stuff that you get, the less chance you're going to be bored. If you don't get too much stuff, then you're probably going to get bored really fast. And Call of the Wild definitely has a tendency where you could get bored of it. The Hunter Classic has so many different opportunities, different styles of hunting. You could do drives, you could do bow hunting from stands, you could spot and stalk, you could do long range shooting, you could hunt with a friend and call them in and make some nice shots there. You could double up, you could pretty much do anything you want on the Hunter Classic. Call of the Wild is more just run around and shoot stuff, and how long can you do that for? Alright guys, well that's my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I know a lot of you guys want to know what I thought was the better choice. And so now you know. Alright, well I think that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.